Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. Recently, I just finished a 6-week boxing fitness program. Today, I am going to be sharing with you my review of that program. I'm not going to be sharing too many clips of me doing my workouts through this program, but if you want to get more of a visual and see how I personally progressed, you can go to my boxing shorts playlist and just see from beginning to end how I looked beginning the program and how I progressed through. In this video, I'm first going to just give a short overview of the program. Then I'm going to share some helpful tips through my own experience with this program. I'm going to share with you my pros and cons list. And lastly, I'm going to share with you the benefits that I received doing this program. The program is called 10 Rounds and it came out in the spring of 2020. Which was kind of terrible timing. I actually remember when this program dropped. It was spring of 2020. It had to have been like April or May, and of course at that time that was just the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. I remember feeling kind of bad for the trainer Joel because he had worked so hard on this program, and then the release date was just terrible timing. 10 Rounds is Beachbody's first ever boxing program. It's designed to deliver maximum cardio burn by combining technique, repetition, and intensity for the ultimate total body workout. I will say that I did burn a relatively good amount of calories, particularly in the 40-minute boxing workout. The boxing workouts were one of the higher calorie burns I have had in doing workouts at home. I will hit anywhere from 275 to 300 active calories burned per boxing workout. The program is 3 days of boxing training and 2 days of weightlifting each week for a total of 6 weeks. Each boxing workout is broken down into 10 rounds. They are 10 3-minute rounds with 45 seconds of rest in between, hence the name 10 rounds. All right, now I'm gonna move on to my personal tips for this program. Tip number 1 is just remember that anytime you're starting any new type of fitness or going into something new, that it could be a little rough starting out. For me personally, every time I take on a new program the first week, I don't know, I'm working muscles differently than it was before. Especially in this boxing program, I'm doing things that I really don't normally do in my workouts. So I always have a little bit of a harder time transitioning into that first week. Be sure to add in some extra stretching and things like that if you need to. Even take a rest day in the middle of the week if you need to. Number 2, just to kind of go off of number 1, is to don't plan to go the first 5 days in a row. My first week, I went, I think it was the first 3 days, and I was so sore. So I did take a rest day on the 4th day and then did the other 2 workouts after that. Tip number 3, this may be naive and just the fact that I haven't really had that much experience boxing, but you really don't think you're gonna burn that many calories just punching at air. Like, how effective can that be? But like I said, it's really incredible. The calorie burn that I have with this program, it really is very effective. Tip number 4 is that this is an intermediate program. So I just want to point that out. If you are a beginner, you may want to look into some other kind of program to get yourself worked up to an intermediate level. Number 5 is that pivots start on week 4. And the thing about me and pivots is that I work out in my living room on the carpet. And when you're pivoting on your front foot on carpet, it does get really challenging because there's extra resistance there when you're turning. And that makes me a little nervous because I am worried that maybe my body will turn and like my leg won't and I might injure my knee or something. Definitely at the very least, it is a lot of extra work, I feel like, to rotate on carpet. Whereas if you were on a harder surface, be it tile, linoleum, outside, whatever it may be, it's going to be a lot easier to not do that on carpet. Now, what I did is I ended up picking my foot up to turn it to pivot, and that worked for me just fine. The good news is, like I said, pivoting does not start until week 4, and even when he does throw that in there, it's not like it's all the time. It's just like every once in a while you're pivoting. It's not like if I was pivoting throughout the entire program, I would probably get pretty tired of that. But I figured out ways around it and it was fine, but I just want to give you a heads up on the pivoting. And if you want even more tips, just general tips because you're beginning this program or any other kind of fitness journey, you can check out my fitness tips for beginners video where I just have a little bit more to give you and a little bit more tips for you to be successful in your fitness journey. Moving on to my pros and cons. I will start with the cons first, okay? One thing that I didn't really love about this program is that the cool downs are not built into the workout. So you do the workout and then you go to a separate video to do the cool downs. Not really that big a deal, I guess. The cool downs are there, but I know, and I know all the fitness trainers know, how important those cool downs are. And so I feel like it just makes it a little bit too easy to turn off the workout and just be done. And I just think that is such a bad idea for people to do that. So I really wish that the cool downs were built in, because they are really important and they are part of the workout. I did every single cool down, and I want you to make sure if you do this program or any program that you go and do that cool down video every single time and then some. Another thing I didn't love about this program is that there is not a dedicated modifier. Maybe I'm spoiled and maybe I've done so many programs that have a modifier in them, but it is really nice to be right in the thick of a workout and be just like, you know, I'm dying here, and you need to take it down a notch. And being that this is an intermediate level program, maybe you're expected to know how you can modify certain things. But it is really nice when you look up and you can just get your eyes on a modifier so that you can know what your options are. Really, when it comes to the boxing, there's really not that much modification that can be done. There are the weightlifting workouts where I think that a modifier would be helpful. It's not like you can't modify, it's not like they're discouraging modifying, but there is not a dedicated modifier. Okay, now moving on to my pros. This program is 5 days a week and you get 2 rest days. I really love that. These workouts are really challenging, and so I do think that the 2 rest days a week is perfectly okay and warranted. I can't be going, 7 days a week hardcore. I need some chill time. Another pro is that the workouts are 30 to 40 minutes long. That's like my sweet spot. Also like that the program includes 2 days of resistance training. So it's not just straight boxing every single day. It gives you something a little bit different, and also you're working on that resistance training. Another pro, the trainer Joel, he is lighthearted, he's fun, he's kind of goofy, and he's very knowledgeable. Last 2 are my biggest pros, I would say. And the first one is that this was a really good brain challenge for me. Physically, it was a very challenging program, but when you start adding in the footwork, if you're stepping forward, stepping back, we're doing L drills, we're shuffling, we're pivoting, doing all these different types of things, it really is more of a mental challenge. And I like having that mental challenge. I couldn't keep up. I would have to slow it down and figure out what I was doing before I just picked up the speed. And then in time, as I continued to work through it and practice it, it really became more automatic and second nature, and it just got easier and easier. I can't help but think that that kind of work is good for my brain. And the other pro that I really like is that I didn't plateau in this program. The first week was a little bit rough for me, but then once I got through that week, the second week I was like good to go. The third week I was good to go, and then I hit the 4th week and I started getting sore again. So he is constantly adding on and progressing things and changing things up so that you're constantly challenged, you're not plateauing. Those are my pros and cons. Lastly, I'm going to move on to the benefits that I got from doing this program. Number 1, I got stronger. Each week I was getting stronger and stronger. I was able to push myself harder, and I was less sore the next day. Another benefit is I just felt more confident. There's just something different about taking on a cohesive program and having an end in sight and working towards that goal and progressing and getting stronger and getting better. And every time I hit that last week, that last workout, I just feel a lot of pride. Aside from that, just the fact that I was throwing punches and it just, you feel kind of badass, and that was giving me a lot of confidence as well. And to that note, that's another benefit is I learned some things about throwing punches. I prefer not to ever have to hit anybody. But if I ever get in a position where maybe I need to, it may be helpful to learn where to get my power from, how to turn my hips, how to turn my body. Let's just hope I never need it. But I will say I learned something that I didn't know before, and that's how to throw a punch. In fact, I learned how to throw 6 different punches, so yeah. And the last benefit, I kind of alluded to this earlier, but I felt really accomplished in this program. And again, that's just a matter of starting something, saying I'm going to do it, setting my goal, marking it off every day, and getting it done. This time I was damn near sobbing because I was so proud of myself and accomplished, and not to mention Joel was like basically crying at the end as well, so that did not help my situation. I always get a little emo at the end of these programs because it's a challenge, it's a microcosm for life. You look at a challenge and you are like, I don't know if I can do this, and then you do it, and it's just a wonderful feeling. All in all, I really did like this workout program, and I felt really proud and accomplished at the end. This is the end of 10 rounds for me, but that just means it's the beginning of something new. So be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date. I'm going to be taking on a new program soon. I'm very excited about it. I have about 3 new programs that I'm going to be taking on over the next few months. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get notifications on all of my videos when they drop. So what do you think after hearing my review? Are you going to take on the program? Have you taken on the program? What did you think about 10 rounds? Leave a comment below and let us know. Bye guys.